Jimmy's gonna cry about it.
Hello, and welcome to Comic Book Wars, episode 39. We're hitting milestones every day. Every day there's another milestone. Is my audio correct? Is it wrong? We don't know. But anyways, I'm Jimmy Linguini of comicbookspeculation.com. That's where our podcast is hosted, obviously. And I think we're all in a more positive mood than last week. I don't know. We're going to find out. But again, there's always ups and downs, and we'll just see how it goes. I'm excited for the show, and so should you. So I'm going to let these other guys introduce themselves. I'll start with, let's go around the table. Here we go.
I'm Nico, your weekend update correspondent with comicbookspeculation.com. It is good to be here.
Sleepy John here, promoting positivity. We're keeping it all positive on the podcast.
Well, no, I
today.
I talked to Nico like a week and a half ago, and I said, "God, you can't think about the past. You can't think about the future. You have to live in the present." And then he called me like stupid and said, like, "I don't know who you've been talking to, but you're dumb." And I was like, "Okay." So, but yeah, very positive. We got to be positive.
Okay.
Way to start it off. Really,
Way to start off with the positivity.
That was positive. I'm just saying you got to be careful. You got to be careful because
I don't think that captures the conversation that we had.
How did it go? I'm listening.
Paraphrase.
It was an okay conversation.
Yeah. I thought. Okay. Well, sometimes people say things to me what you would describe as in Latin non sequiturs. Okay. So what that means is they don't have anything to fucking do with anything, right? Like it would be, for example, like
that's what this podcast is based on.
You ready? Yeah, that's for sure. I think that the Cincinnati Bengals are the greatest football team in America. And the response would be
that you're wrong. It's the DC Defenders.
No. Baseball.
What do you mean? What? No.
Is a bad sport. And you're just like, well, I mean, fucking. So what I said in response to your statement
is that like
Jimmy?
Did you see the new DC movie? No, I'm not into graphic
contextually novels. And you're saying that to rationalize what you already want to do. And then you've apparently held on to that for fucking a week and a half or something. But let's get to business.
Let's get to comics.
It hurt my feelings, man. I was very zen.
We had our
took me out of my zen zone. Okay, where did
like a motorcycle mechanic.
Oh. So what's going on with this? How's that for a good thumbnail?
I was doing some research because I had I was going through some comics trying to figure out what the actual real first appearances of some of these characters are that were announced, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And so I was rereading them again, and I saw this panel, and I thought that was very odd because they're talking about a local orphanage. Mockingbird is, and then they just show Wonder Man.
Child's foot.
With Child's foot, he's eating hot dogs.
Oh, that's a hot dog.
Yeah, he's
double fisted too. So that's Solo Avengers #1, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've been sending you guys panels too. I've been finding some fun ones too recently.
Yeah.
So. But now I have a good thumbnail for the video. What's going on with this, Nico?
All right, so I'm really excited. ETA Nick is a genius. If you haven't had an opportunity to listen to what he's doing on YouTube week in and week out, I would really encourage you to do that. The guy's a treasure in the community, and I'm really excited that we're going to be able to sit down now because he's not in the continental United States. It's going to be at a different time. We'll be live Saturday, February 15th at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're missing the PM there, buddy. Hopefully nobody goes on at 1:30 a.m.
It's set up though. It's set up like it's timed, and the YouTube is set up for that time. So if you're subscribed to us and it goes, you'll get a notification. But yeah, you're right. It doesn't say PM there.
Cool.
Just EST. So I mean, it could be at some point. You gotta just figure it out. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
This news broke like an hour ago, I guess. So apparently, and this is, I guess, still alleged, and this comes from Illuminati Nerd, which has had some which has had some scoops recently. But apparently, there's 2 characters that are being added to the Miss Marvel Disney Plus series, and their names are Cameron and what's the other one? Red Dagger. Yeah,
from
isn't it Cameron?
Dipset. Cameron.
Yeah, Cam. Or it's Cameron.
Dipset.
I don't know, man. But his first appearance is Miss Marvel 13. And that book has a variant. And the other character's first appearance is Miss Marvel 12, which has a few variants. But I mean, this is just an indication that the recent runs of Miss Marvel are great books to be picking up if you can find them cheap, because they are going to be using them for the TV show in some way. Like I don't even know these books, but apparently I'll be looking for them because.
Yeah, me neither. Do you guys? What do you think about the tip? Not one of our traditional scoopers.
I think this one. Yeah, I think this one is tied into one of the people that we regularly utilize for stories. So I think it's
probable.
So far so good. But as far as I know, it's kind of new information on this website that they're getting newer information. I haven't been around long, Illuminati. It's not like Cosmic Book News that has been around for a long time, and we know how often they put out fake stuff. So this one could end up being like that, but it seems pretty good so far. One thing, Jimmy, so Cameron is the first series of Kamala Khan, and he's kind of in that series, he's kind of a minor character. I don't know what they'll do with him. He was more of a love interest. The variant that you showed, that wasn't a ratio variant, but it may have been a plateau variant, so it may need to have been unlocked by
where are we here?
retailers.
Are you sure it wasn't? Are you sure it wasn't a ratio variant?
Okay. It's the Women of Power variant month, so they just made those. I think some of them were plateau variants.
Yeah, could be.
I did buy a couple of those because I forget who the artist was on that, but I remember when that came out, I bought a couple of those. And then the other one is from the second Kamala Khan series for Red Dagger, and that one has like 4 variants for it. And one of them is that Red Widow, Black Widow variant that is pretty sought after. It's a few sold for about $60 to $80.
That's great.
Today. It really, the cover has nothing to do with the story, but I didn't realize there's a backup story in that issue that is the Red Widow story, which I'm assuming was printed the one time with the comic that came with the novel that they released. So there was a Red Widow novel that was released, and
how integral is that character?
Red Widow?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with Miss Marvel.
No, I'm sorry. Red Dagger.
I stopped reading about that time.
Okay.
I flipped through it today because I do have one of those. I think I have the 1 in 10 variant. The story itself is a pretty good story. It seems like it's pretty relevant to the character and the nature of the character. So I haven't read much of that. I kind of jumped off that Miss Marvel series when they rebooted it, but with the #1, but the story just continued from the previous series. There was no reason to reboot it except to make it a #1. They just continued the story, so I stopped kind of reading at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the question that comes to my mind is, are they going to do more with Inhuman characters that actually matter?
Yeah, are they going to tie in some of the historical Inhumans?
Yeah, I mean,
because Kamala Khan is an Inhuman.
Right.
Yeah.
She's from the.
I mean, you think we're gonna get Black Bolt? You know what I mean? Like any of the big boys. Medusa.
They should, because of that. How badly that show that they don't even want to talk about.
Nah, I hate to even ask. Is it? Somebody told me it was on Disney Plus now.
Not as far as I know.
I thought it was not on there, and then I heard someone say like, "Oh, I'm going to watch that," and I'm like, "Don't watch it. Whatever you do."
They basically took it off all of the streaming platforms once each episode was.
No, I thought they did put it on Disney Plus. I'm not sure though. I don't have Disney Plus, so
yeah, I don't either.
I do. I'll look. That scares me. I don't know what that
have it yet.
means necessarily.
The problem
but-
is there's too many streaming services, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, I mean, the people love that Mandalorian show. We'll see, and they're making a second season of that. But right now, there's not much. If you have a child, it's worth it to buy. And
But they took all the Home
deals.
Alone movies off, right? Like they had the Home Alone
They
movies
did,
on for
really?
Christmas, and then they took them off. So if they're gonna take movies off, it's like, oh no, what's happening here? But
Yeah, why you would
anyways,
take stuff off?
this next piece of news, obviously, I'm excited about, and John doesn't think it's real, and I don't blame him because it probably isn't real. But this one website, what was it? GWW? What's that website? You know it, John.
Geeks Worldwide.
Yeah, so you know it.
It's a Mikey Sutton exclusive.
So they put out an
Yeah,
exclusive
exactly.
that the Agents of Atlas is coming as some kind of thing after the Shang-Chi. This isn't the first time we've heard this, but again, I don't think it's real, but I wish it is. So Agents of Atlas' first appearance is Agents of Atlas.
You just want to
1.
see Luna Snow live action.
Luna Snow would be pretty good.
Yeah.
So I just think that it's not a bad idea. If you could see, I'm sure the books are in dollar bins now, especially the second prints, because I think retailers ordered high on them, and I don't think anybody cares about them now. I think those are books to be looking for and see where they go. But because I think
They
people are
also
going to now be
did
jumping
not
on
say,
this. So
it doesn't say what iteration of Agents of Atlas this would be.
there's only one
because-
iteration, isn't there?
No, there's
Or
not.
am I thinking of
No.
a different thing? Whatever, it doesn't matter.
No,
We're gonna
no.
figure it out, guy. And the picture
The
has
main
Luna Snow
guy-
on it,
Oh,
so it
Lord.
could be Luna Snow.
Yeah.
Main
So
guy,
we all agree there's little to no probability that this is even anything close to being true.
I see it on a website.
Yeah, it's on
Oh
the
my
website.
God.
There is one good website that tracks like when people make these prophecies and how.
Oh no shit, that's fucking
Wait,
epic.
time out.
yeah.
Nico, didn't you do an interview with a guy who said this on the interview?
Yeah.
Okay,
He
cool.
said what?
So as long,
I
Oh, he said
fucking do
agents.
interviews with all sorts of people.
He said Agents of Atlas was coming.
there
Yeah,
you
I told him
go.
that was stupid.
There you
I
have
kept my
it.
mouth shut about most of the things I thought that were stupid that when people say them, but I just am like nice about them. I just think that's utterly fucking ridiculous. I mean, sure, they might do it 15 fucking years,
Yeah,
but to suggest that like here in the next 10 years, the next decade, that
5.
like
I think
Agents
that's
of
next
5,
5 years, isn't it?
that
Yeah.
that Agents of Atlas is going to be on the short list, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. They'll do a Ghost Rider movie, television show.
but what
They'll do-
Ghost Rider?
Well, aren't they also saying that
That's
there's going
very
to be a
interesting.
female Ghost Rider?
Again,
I don't know why
zero
that was-
probability. Zero probability.
Well, no,
More
it's because
ridiculous.
it's from the same source, right? And I see
Yeah,
people.
but I don't think any of the things that he says are like.
I see people
all.
jumping on those books. I don't necessarily think they're good books, but I'm just saying I see
Yeah.
people jumping on the first appearance of female Ghost Rider books, which is I can't
Fear
remember.
Itself.
Well, it's
Ghost
that
Rider.
yeah, Fear Itself, Ghost
Ghost
Rider,
Rider
and there's
number
also
1.
the What If Ghost Rider book. That's the first
Yeah.
time it's a female. So I mean, who cares though?
Well,
I mean,
that's,
they had a pretty cool Ghost Rider book this week. I thumbed through. It comes out tomorrow. It's Ghost Rider something. I can't remember what it's called, but it's Lilith is the Ghost Rider. It's pretty cool.
Hmm.
But
Is it a What If?
no,
Oh, is it Marvel Tales?
no.
Oh, okay. Well, oh,
Cool
for 2.
comics.
I'll take
Not
the bench
going to
before I
be
strike
a
out.
Hollywood picture.
Okay, so that's how we feel about that. Okay, yeah, I see how it is. I see
Who
how it is.
doesn't
I don't
feel
know.
like
I think
that? I
that
don't
we
even
need.
understand how people report this stuff with a straight face.
I think we need Luna Snow. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that you're rooting.
and by the way,
for
I'm
it, and I
following
told
that Luna
guy
Snow-
we'd come up with
I-
a fucking.
I think like when I started.
petition to
when I
get
start-
somebody passed because
So
I
what-
think that would be fun too. But it's not going to happen. Nobody's going to care.
When I started following that girl who's the voice of Luna Snow, she'd like put something on Instagram, and then I would write Luna Snow. But now like it doesn't let me send messages anymore. So I don't know. She either turned it off or like I'm not allowed to because I'm that annoying. So that's something to think about too. Luna
Great.
Snow. That's all I'm saying. It's happening. It could happen. You never know.
Yeah.
But so what? Birds of Prey came out last week. Do you guys see it? What do you guys think?
I didn't even realize it came out last week.
It was the worst movie I've seen in a long time. It was horrific. I made the mistake of going to a Regal theater trying to get some of those comics. I got none, and then profound
You
disappointment.
didn't even get
I've never gone into a comic book movie with lower expectations than I had for this, and I was still disappointed. It
sure
was
it's
just
Was
all
the
around
acting
bad.
bad or the story bad?
It's all bad.
How was Black Mask?
Mildly okay sometimes.
Does he ever appear in the skeleton face?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For like 2
Is it a
seconds.
mask or is it supernatural or however
No,
he's
it's a
supposed to be in the comic?
mask. Yeah, it's just he
Oh.
puts on a little black mask. But it was horrible. It was horrific.
I think there were mixed reviews. But I don't know. I've heard people enjoyed it. I haven't seen it because again, I'd like.
I went with like a gaggle of people because I thought I was getting free comics. Nobody liked it.
Okay.
There were people that weren't comic book people and they were leaving the movie and they were like, I don't know. They looked like the characters on the fucking show. And they were like, man, that was a great movie. I love Birds of Prey. And I was just like, Jesus Christ. So who knows?
So what you're saying is people in the theater, there were people in the theater who did like the movie?
Correct.
And yeah, as has been
And I'm
pointed
not
out,
a purist when it comes to like comic book movies. I'm not one of those weird people that's like, this wasn't like the story that I grew up with.
Yeah.
It was just bad. It was poorly acted. It was like strange. They tried to make it like an adult film with like violence and profanity, but it was done in a like real juvenile kind of way. I mean, it was just all bad.
Well, yeah. So they're changing the name of the movie, or DC has, to now it's Harley Quinn: The Birds of Prey instead of just Birds of Prey.
Did you not have that next slide? Or did you didn't upload it?
Oh. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
My apologies.
Yeah, so they're adding Harley Quinn to the front of the title of the movie, Birds of Prey. If you remember, the original title was Birds of Prey, and then in parentheses, the glorious emancipation of Harley Quinn, or whatever the heck it was. And the best part about this whole story of them changing the name is that apparently they weren't getting great search engine optimization results from it. Like, why would you wait until the movie is released to figure that out? Like, there's tons of analytics out there. What's that, Nico?
Nothing. I didn't say anything to anybody.
He's interrupting you for no reason. I'm trying to hear whatever John's talking about.
Sorry.
Well, I just thought it was totally ridiculous. Like, who do they have working in the marketing at DC that this kind of stuff happens?
Well, I play Fortnite. I don't know if you play Fortnite, and I bought the costume where I'm Harley Quinn.
Well,
so they apparently are marketing an R-rated movie towards people who play Fortnite. So I mean, that's nice.
Yeah. That's mostly.
They're obviously putting their marketing dollars in the right place.
Based upon who watches what on YouTube, I believe that search engine optimization.
Well, this movie's pushed towards
very important.
This is pushed towards more female fans, right? So it just seems weird that they advertise it on a game that's obviously more adolescent males playing it. So it's just weird.
I don't know about that. I think Harley is in the comic book community. It's maybe not widely read by males, but it's a hobby in terms of value.
Have you have you watched the film though?
Yeah,
I have not.
Let me try to describe.
I've just heard that the film is a lot more oriented toward or pushed towards more of a female audience.
Yeah,
well,
so
sure.
Let me try to. You ready? This is what it is.
I mean,
if Goonies was about was made for
I'm in.
adult women who were unhappy in their marriage, unhappy in their life, generally like clinically depressed and whatever. That's what this is, but it lacks the charm of Goonies.
You mean like the movie The Women?
Or Desperate Housewives,
that won a bunch of
any
Oscars?
movie that's ever been made.
Little Women.
No, The Women.
Yeah.
Little Women didn't win any Oscars.
Oh.
It's just bad. And I love Margot Robbie, I
hate her.
Ironically,
her accent.
if any of the characters would have had like their own little gig and it was just about them, it would have been a better movie. It just it just didn't gel right.
Yeah, if you remember, they basically put this was supposed to be Gotham City Sirens. So do you think it would have been better with Catwoman and Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn? Yeah. I don't know. So I was reading some stuff about that this week, and some comments I read were like, well, maybe there were, because the DC movie universe is not really taking off like Marvel. Maybe they didn't want to put out Poison Ivy and Catwoman next in a movie when, you know, they still don't have things completely figured out in terms of box office sales. I don't know. Whatever. So
Batman Forever minus the humor and charm.
So there, Nico, as you were saying, there was this comic that Regal had like the Venom.
Yeah,
movie.
but people were overpaying for that one for a minute. Holy cow.
Which one? The Harley?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, first to market, man.
Whew.
75,000 they announced print run, which is, you know, that's going to be like a top 10 any month of the year for a comic book. So not hard to find. Not a limited supply, I should say. The Venom comic, I would say, was probably as much as this or more, wouldn't you?
Had to have been.
Yeah.
Although for whatever reason, you know, a lot of them get thrown away. And
they're not like
they're not well taken care of.
Yeah, exactly.
So
if you can pluck it out of the box now,
yeah,
like the Venom cover was.
Dude, I knew the front run was $75K, and I still was going for a box of these suckers.
But what I heard is the smaller, if you might your movie theater might have to hit a certain threshold of sales to be able to get them.
It's only the ones with RPX screens.
I don't know
what the hell is RPX. I don't even know what that is.
I don't know. In Canada, there's something called like legendary screens, and apparently like there were 10,000 given out in Canada. So.
And they did that with the Venom ones, remember?
No, they made different. They made different versions. They made
you don't have
different
Regal
versions
in Canada, right?
Yeah, they didn't make a different version. They just gave the Regal one out. So.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah, apparently that's at least what they told me.
So you have a slide with the sales, some of the sales prices for this. Yeah, we're on a podcast here, Jimmy.
We are. Anyways, it's been selling for about $15. It was selling for $30, and it's been going down. I mean, there was one sale for $5, so. It's not doing too good. I mean, the cover's by who? Jolie Jones or whatever. So
Joel Jones.
Yeah. So
what was that comment about him, Connor?
Oh yeah, it's dead on. Dead
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's why I have no interest in Harley Quinn comic book because of Amanda Connor. I don't know if the writing is good. I just not a fan of her art personally.
Yeah. What else we got? So DC announced this new character, Punchline. I'm sure we've all heard of it.
We talked about it a couple.
Yeah, I think I might be the only guy that's hopeful.
Yeah.
Did we talk about this last podcast?
No, it was 2 podcasts ago. We mentioned it at the end, but we didn't have any images because it came out like an hour before the podcast.
Sure, I don't believe that, but anyways, she apparently appears in one panel on where are we at? On Batman 89, and then she makes her full appearance on Year of the Villain. Now, both of these books have sold out. DC announced this after Final Order cut off for some reason. Doesn't make any sense. But these books are selling really well on the secondary market. So there will be a second print for these that they just announced. And the first
how about the discussion in our Facebook?
That's why you
come out on Februare 19th, and then the second one comes out on February 26th. Those are so. Anyways, if you ask your local, these are good books to ask your local comic book store about. I'm sure they'll be telling you that you're SOL, but I mean, it's just something to be thinking about.
Yeah. How about? Can we please talk about the
good for a Wednesday Warrior book? Yeah, whatever you want to talk about. I don't know what you're going on about, but okay.
There's this guy who was like, Comics Heating Up said that DC will print extra copies. You shouldn't buy any of them. That book won't sell at all. It was already selling for $20 on eBay. I'm like, what is happening?
Well, yeah, the whole press release
just like talked about it like it was a normal comment.
Yeah, the press release said that's what the press release said. It said
what?
Don't
buy this book because
no, it said that they had more copies. More? No, stop talking for a second. When somebody else is talking, you can't talk over people. You gotta come on. Okay. But no, what DC said and what they said in the group was that they have overprinted it and they've printed more. So it showed up as sold out on Diamond, but you could place a back order for them, and some of those were fulfilled because DC had some. They had leftovers, right? Those are all gone now, but you could have ordered them. And
that's the same with any comic.
Yeah, but no, but they were. It showed on the thing as sold out, And if you weren't in the Facebook group and you're a retailer, you wouldn't have known that you would have placed a back order order for it, and it would have been fulfilled.
You're saying the DC retailer Facebook group. So they held
Yes.
some back, and then they told them that.
But
they
in
had
the original
extra.
press release, it says that they overprinted the books. That you're right.
Press release
100%.
for Punchline.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's
not uncommon.
non-sequiturs in the beginning.
Yeah. No, I don't think that relates. That's not uncommon that they do that for overprint books they know that are going to be popular.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Plus, there's returns.
But that's what they were saying on the Facebook post, is they were quoting where it says in that press release that there were extra copies printed.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So, at any rate, do we think it's? I'm not really big on these.
I mean, I'm not going to stack 150 of them, but I'll grab.
I'm not sure on the. I'm not sure on the
5.
long-term value, but Wednesday Warrior wise, they seem like great books to be trying to get copies of.
You can get it for cover. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would never tell anybody to pay $20 for anything.
February 19th and February 26th. So
Okay.
I mean, it's
So they're a
coming.
week
It's
apart.
coming up. So we'll see. What was this?
So this was the other news that came out that was kind of muddled in with the Punchline stuff. Is
I like this one too.
Batman 89. There's a new character called the Designer. The character you can see there is on the right. A new villain.
Is he from Detroit?
It does kind of look like the Detroit Tigers symbol.
Yeah.
I just, I'm not big into. The last time I bought into a character like this, not heavily, but was the character Bloom. You remember from New 52, and is this not the exact same character?
No.
Like just with a different thing on his face.
One has baggy clothes and one has very.
Well, Bloom weighs about 10 pounds because Greg Capullo drew it, and he thinks he's drawing Spawn stuff.
Could.
I don't know. This character does nothing for me. You like it, Nika?
I mean, in other words, for a guy who rarely buys any books on Wednesday, if I'm not going to read them,
yeah,
these seem like absolute picks.
I just don't like paying $4.
To go grabs or pays $20. I'm not trying to suggest that anybody go grab 50 copies or something. But if you want to take a shot, roll a dice on Punchline,
they're not books. They're not books I would be holding on to. But,
I agree.
I'd flip a couple, maybe stick 2 or 3 in a box.
Yeah.
If something happens,
if you can find that many, I mean, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. But it depends on how many.
I didn't see Batman Who Laughs coming the way that it did. I mean, I totally passed on that. I think we probably all did at a low price because, number one, it's DC. Their modern stuff usually doesn't hold very long. Batman Who Laughs is
characters.
No. What's that?
I just hate amalgam characters.
Yeah, it's a fake Batman, and Marvel does that all the time.
They're always suspect to me for whatever reason.
I can't tell you why Batman Who Laughs is popular. I agree. It's like another thing too was Batman Who Laughs was one of 6 other characters that came out during the same time that were different iterations of Batman, and none of those did anything. I mean, he looks cool. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. We're doing a podcast. Hey, whoa! So what's this? What's this about? What's this?
Bringing back to sleepy speculation for a hot moment.
That's not a good. You should use the picture where you're asleep.
That's it, right there.
I'll change it for next week.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. One thing I saw pop up on Key Collector this week. Shout out to Nick for constantly providing content, but this one I disagree with is this. I forgot to look this up. I believe, if you guys maybe recall, wasn't Captain America Falcon and Winter Soldier? That was announced around the time that Endgame came out, right? The Avengers movie.
Yeah, it was right after that. Well, it was about a month after that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was shortly thereafter because that was when everybody was thinking, well, I don't know, I guess at the end of the Endgame movie too, Falcon maybe will come Captain America. But at any rate, way back then, there was some news that Trickshot, or at least Barney Barton, was going to be joining that show. So it keeps coming back up, and this week more news popped back up again about Trickshot. Like I said, this is pretty old news. Key collectors saying that Hawkeye blind spot #1 is first Trickshot. He is in the end of that comic with Zemo. He's in a few panels, but he's not named. And this was a comic that is a little bit frustrating about how the market works now. I did my research back then, read the comics, and picked up.
How dare you read the comics?
A number of these comics, which is Hawkeye Blind Spot #3, which is where Barney Barton is actually named Trickshot. He basically, the backstory is he kills the original Trickshot and comes. He also died. Barney was thought to be dead at one point. Comes back to life in this series. Zemo brings him back, and he becomes Trickshot. But he's in the middle there. You can see him. He's at the end of #1. He talks. He's engaged, but he's not called Trickshot. My thought on stuff like that is, if the comic was to stand alone and no comics were to ever follow, would you know who that character was? We've talked about this many times. Probably the biggest one to me was Jenica in recent memory. So my thought is Hawkeye Blind Spot #3 is first Trickshot. I also pulled out this one that I bought a number of copies of. This is Soul Avengers Hawkeye, Soul Avengers #2. This is a Hawkeye arc. This is the first time when the original Trickshot is actually named. The character is Buck Chisholm, who you can see there is a very beefy man. He first appears in Solo Avengers #1. So when the rumors started coming out, they're saying,
I'm gonna cosplay as that guy because I have the body type.
right. So they were saying Trickshot was probably going to be in the Falcon Winter Soldier show, in the Hawkeye series. I was naming the wrong series. So I gravitated towards this book as well because it's the first appearance of him as Trickshot. His first appearance ever was in. This is Buck Chisholm, who is the first, or is the Trickshot is in Soul Avengers #1, but #2 is where he becomes the character. It's a big convoluted story because they have all these solo issues where stuff happens. They're not in like regular series. The other book that some news came out about today was the next Venom movie, Venom 2. Shriek, we already know, was announced to be in the movie. Carnage is in the movie. But the news that came out was that they will meet in what's it called? Ravenscroft. There was just that new book that came out. It's basically like Arkham Asylum for Marvel.
Ravencroft. Yeah.
Yeah. So this book, Spectacular Spider-Man 176, maybe something like that. Can't recall off the top of my head. This first appearance of it. I don't like books like this, but we've seen some new speculation pop up for places. Most recently, like the Hickman X-Men stuff. When there's first appearance of places, the books pop a little bit. So this is an easy dollar book. I don't suspect anybody has this for more than
it's a terrible play, but a great flip.
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe I'll get to
smart.
$10, $12.
Absolutely.
Get it for $1.
Oh. It's time for Nico time. Are you ready for Nico time?
All right, everybody, shut off your fucking cameras. Take off your headphones. The boringness will end soon.
Okay.
Where are we at?
Hit me with it.
All right, so
I've never
this
seen
is
book. That's cool.
This was pretty stinking cool. First Mickey Mouse in comics, 4-color, number 16. Live auction, you're gonna have to look at the pictures. I think it's probably a 3, maybe a 2.5. Hard to tell. It presents well. There's a split and so forth. Point is, this week on the Weekend Update, we're going to talk about funny animal books, and I'm going to try to, follow the advice. I try to give the advice I need to hear, and I'm going to try to follow the advice I need to hear and familiarize myself with the redheaded stepchild of the comic book back issue market. There's clearly very little left that hasn't been picked over and destroyed in long boxes and short boxes across the country. Funny animal books are still an opportunity. Maybe you won't find the first appearance of Mickey Mouse. Who knows? Maybe you will. But there's certainly books there to be looking for. So that one was really interesting for me. What an amazing comic, particularly now that Disney and Marvel, are one cohesive unit. Next.
I like that book. Somehow I did not ever know that book of that book. Like,
yeah, it's pretty amazing, right?
Like
Scrooge or
first Peanuts.
The Tip Top.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. This is amazing. I've never seen this book before. My understanding is there's like 6 that have ever been graded.
Okay.
There were allegedly 52, I think, that were made. Keith signed them all, numbered them. This is obviously number 27, as you can see from the cover. Popped up out of nowhere in a live auction. Went for about $2,000.
Why would you put this thing up at a live auction?
Yeah, it's weird. But the problem with these two is that they were all signed and then stacked on top of each other. So if you look at the back of them, they all have white smudge marks on the back.
Now, each issues 1 through 3, correct me if I'm wrong here, have 3 different ash cans.
Correct.
I think there might be 4, but yeah, there's a few.
There's
4 different colors.
It's blue, red, yellow, and black and white.
Yeah,
the black and white being the most rare.
Artist. Yeah. Usually don't see the black ones.
I've never seen one in person. There were only 50 copies.
Calm down.
What's up?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, Gary got a poopy?
No.
It happens. Everybody poops.
No.
I'll get you the children's book. You can
had
teach
nothing
it
to do with
class.
that. No, how much did that thing sell for? $2,000, you said?
Yeah, about 2 G's. All right, and
$2,000 on an auction that
nobody's looking for.
Yeah, I guess Max they got a little bit of news about it, but
there's news.
That's
obviously,
a couple months old
news.
now.
It's a couple months old. How'd you like to be the guy that's waiting for years for this and has saved eBay auctions and one pops up and you still got to spend $2,000? I'd be like, what the?
Hopefully the person listed it right. Yeah, I know. That's crazy. Okay.
So we talked about this time and time again, this Singapore book. Here's what I find to be remarkable is that these incredibly rare Spawn comics, the convention variants, the East Coast or whatever college variant, you name it, continue to demand these huge price tags, even in a down market, right?
Prices seem to have dropped a little bit on this one. Not too. They were selling for $550, and now they're now around $400 to $450. But
that's holding to me.
Well, I'm just saying they were a little higher a few months ago, and they just a little bit.
What are they?
I'm not. Are they on their way down? Are they leveling out? I'm not sure, but it's still a significant chunk of change. I'm just saying.
And here's what I compare them to, right? All of these store variants where there's 300 copies or 200 copies or 500 copies. And then you look at Spawn and, those books sell for $20, $30, $50. Oh, it's $70 on eBay the first week. And then when it's Spawn, it's $300, $400, $500 and change. Yeah. Holy cow.
Spawn is definitely an enigma in terms of the hobby, because we're in the we're in that age now where when Spawn came out, Spawn #1, obviously, Todd McFarlane has cemented himself as an all-time great. He's kept this series going. He's built Image Comics into the #3 comic company in the market. And if you think about when Spawn 1 came out, the old timers were probably not at that point, were not big on Spawn. A million printed, way too many comics. You can't buy a nice grade copy of Spawn now for less than $20, probably more on any given day. And I think it's because the people that were collecting as youngsters when that book came out now have the capital, and they're still loving Spawn, and Image is going strong as the biggest independent in the business. So yeah, I think that's who's buying these books. I mean, we all know a couple people who want.
I thought it was
books
Doc
when
Joe.
they come
Just
out.
bought them all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Doc Joe's like,
right.
you got
Strong.
anybody got 9.8s of any crazy convention variant? I need them all.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable the spending power that Spawn collectors have. I like Spawn collectors. I like selling them books because they spend money, and I think they're smart about comics. Like, they're Spawn collectors are good for comics. Period.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, Spawn books sell, online at least.
Yeah, and it's funny too because when we were kids, like Spawn collectors were like they were looked down on. You remember that?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know anything about comic book, like
Yeah,
Spawn.
that's what I mean.
And now they're the
came
shrewdest collectors of them all. At least when it comes to modern books, makes me happy. Game changed.
Wednesday Warrior Guide for February 12th. Where are we at? So this week, Alienated 1 comes out. Have you guys heard about this series?
No.
Yeah, it sounds stupid, but it's sold out. There's a 1 in 25 variant. Yeah, it's from Boom. It's sold out. It's already on its second print. Soon to be third, soon to be fifth.
Wait, are you saying Boom is going to a second print?
Anyways, there's a 1 in
that.
25 variant that seems to be doing okay. I don't know. This week isn't that great. Another book that seems to be doing okay, but it might have some long-term potential if you like this cover. I think it's not that worse, the bad cover, and I kind of like the Spider-Man thing right here. But anyways, this is
now Little Black Kid makes the cover.
No, it's his shirt. Spider-Gwen #1. This is the 1 in 200 cover. It's the Virgin by
In Hercule, isn't it?
In Hercule, yes. I don't know
or is
why
it Ji Hung Lee?
I don't know why I was
No,
blanking
it's
there.
Jin Hung
It's
Lee.
Ji Hung Lee.
Or are those two
question?
different people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jesus Christ, Jimmy.
Wow.
what?
Anyway,
Wow.
How I thought they were the same. Don't get mad at me.
okay. Let me ask you
Who
this.
knew that?
Go on, Nico.
Okay. Is this a cover with a trade dress, the regular
Yes.
A cover?
Yeah.
I
The
hate
base
when they do
cover
that.
is this.
I hate when they do that.
But
Hey,
who ordered?
This is the A cover. It's a
I hate when
regular
they do
cover.
that. Why do they
It's
do that?
it's a
Because
$5.99
they
book,
can make money.
right? So who ordered 200 copies of it? I don't know, and I haven't seen that many
I
store
know who
variants.
did.
So
All of the stores that got store variants for it.
which store variants
Yeah,
are
right.
there?
I don't know what there is for #1, but I know there are some.
Okay. Well, anyway, so I think that's an okay book. Another book that
Okay.
comes out is this Star Wars Rise of Kylo Ren #3. Following the same trend, it seems to be
1
doing
and 2.
well. There's a 1 in 25 variant that seems to be doing okay as well. It has there was one sale at 50, and then the first print is selling about $7. There's also
Go
a
back
third.
to that cover. I kind of want to. What's going on there?
Which one?
Is that who's on the cover?
That's Kylo Ren on the right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Kylo.
No.
Both
Oh, that's him on the right.
on both it's Kylo Ren because look, it's his lightsaber. He has that lightsaber that has that.
I think what he's trying to ask
he has
is
a cross
why
lightsaber.
does the woman in blue look like Kylo Ren?
No.
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm not reading it, but it seems like it has a huge audience because again, the issue
think
1 is now in
it's-
third print. The second print that came out last week for issue 1 is selling pretty well. Thanks, John was right on that one. And
And Picard's selling well too.
the second print of issue 2 is also selling well. So Rise of Kylo Ren. I don't know what's going on with this book, but it seems
think
to be
that's- I'm guessing the cover is like, remember number 2 where it had the split face of like young and old. I think this
the
is.
variant.
I'm guessing this is the same thing because you don't see that lightsaber with the 3-sided until he becomes Kylo Ren.
But he is Kylo Ren. Well, yeah, I guess but he's Kylo Ren in that one, right?
Well,
So.
he's
Ben Solo.
Ben Solo.
Oh yeah, you're right. He goes from Ben Solo to
Yeah.
Kylo Ren, and then his dad comes and haunts him in the last movie.
He kills his dad.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, kills his dad.
No, he's but then he gets haunted by him in the next one, or the one after. And then another book that's coming out that I already sold a copy of is Venom 23, the Scotty Young variant. It's selling for about $12.
This one surprised me. Was this a plateau variant?
No.
Do you know?
No.
Was it open order?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
So.
Why is this selling so much? Is that
Jim Comics.
so? That's Ryan.
It's
Stegman
Just
holding the bottom.
so this is
Another
Donny
Venom
Cates right
comic.
here, and
Yeah,
this
no
is
shit.
Ryan Stegman, and then this is Venom going, hello.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought
no
it was
shit.
the reverse.
No.
Oh, okay.
Again, this is another victim of Jim Comics.
Yeah, you're right. This is Donny Cates, right? Because it says, so
Yeah.
for my next arc, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
yeah,
blah,
yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Well, it was a Jim Comics thing.
Yeah, he
Great.
talked about it for 10 minutes.
Great. Well,
Could
I think
be,
it would be
but
an
I doubt
awesome
it.
book to get
It's a great
signed
book,
by.
regardless
I doubt
of
that's
whether or
why.
not
I doubt that's why it's selling, but
No, I
whatever.
guarantee
Oh, you mean
that's why.
Omnipotence selling for $125? That guy just
No, I
can't
mean, I
push
don't know.
one
I don't know.
button.
I keep hearing you. I keep hearing you say that, but I haven't seen any evidence of it. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, you could be right. I just haven't seen any proof. I just see you saying it. But with this one, it's been
We
trending
talked
up
about
for the
it
last
last week.
2 weeks. So I don't know if this is a Jim Comics one, but it's possible. But again, it's been trending for the last 2 weeks, dude. So
Terrible.
I don't know.
And what's his explanation for why this is anything, Nico?
You can get it signed at a convention. He thinks it's cool.
Oh, it would be awesome to have it signed. I'll
Yeah.
pay $1 for that book. It'll cost me $400 to get a slab 9.8 by that point. Is
Why
that
would
really
it,
worth
no,
it?
would it?
Because you can't get Scotty Young just by walking up. So you
Yeah,
either
you
got to
can.
get lucky. No, you
What?
can't. He makes you roll the dice.
No, that's if you want to sketch.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's if you want to sketch. What
Yeah.
does he do? Like 5 of them or something per convention?
I don't
And
know.
they take
He
him like
doesn't-
3
he doesn't
minutes
a
to
lot of
do.
them. But
But can you get a? Does he charge for a signature, Scotty Young?
I think he does. I'm not sure. I think he does for CGC. I'm not sure. I can't like the last time.
Donny
I saw him,
Cates,
he
I
did.
doubt he.
Donny
does,
Cates
but-
is actually with Comic Sketch Art, so he does.
Oh,
the
he
first
is
3
now.
are free. So if it's for CGC, he charges. Yeah.
What about Stegman? I don't even recall
Stegman, I'm pretty
seeing
sure
him.
charges as well. For
He's
Grady.
not that many, I don't think.
Yeah. He lives
So-
in Michigan, right? So I'm not. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh,
He does a lot.
really?
He does a lot of shows around there. I thought.
So what are you gonna be into for this book if you get CGC signature series? $300, we think.
No, under $100. I mean,
No,
Donny
I'm
Cates
talking.
Donny Cates is gonna charge you 25. Stegman's probably gonna charge you another 20, and then it's gonna cost grading fees. You're under $100.
You gotta get Scotty Young too.
Again, I don't see. I think the only big one that's gonna cost you is Donny Cates because he's signed with Comic Sketch Art. But again, it's a mute issue. People are gonna want this for whatever reason. So I
Mute?
mean, who cares? Mute.
It's a cool
All right.
book.
Let's keep moving.
That's it. We're on
Oh,
Market
whoa.
Watch now. But
That's
that
exciting.
was
Watch.
it for
Oh my gosh.
the ones
There
that
was
Vision-
one other.
Well, were there
there's
other
one
we-
other independent
Okay.
crappy book by I'm sorry, it's not a crappy book. It was by Aftershock. I don't know
No, I
anything
did.
about
I
the
did
book.
thumb through that. I didn't like
Yeah.
it, so I put it back.
Yeah,
There's also an Evan Dorkin book that comes out that I didn't like. So, but
So what's on
You
the
got
market
John-
watch? I don't recall.
what's
Oh.
that, Nico?
You got John drinking again, talking
Yeah.
about how you don't like his books.
He
I
hates
gotta
us.
upset.
listen to you guys. I have to listen to you guys yell at each other, so I have to drink.
We haven't yelled yet.
Like my parents.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
The first book up here is eating a bag of dog poo by myself because of how DC handled this Birds of Prey movie. I had
That's
this
a
one
shame.
on my sleepy spec a long time ago because It's got this awesome Bud and Lou cover, the hyenas.
I mean, Bruce.
There was, yeah, exactly. There was over a year ago. There was some footage released or some stills. That's why I speculated on this book with Harley in the exotic pet shop getting a hyena. We later come to learn that they just changed it to one hyena named. Was it Bruce or was it Wayne? I don't
Bruce.
know. Yeah, terrible. So I was killed by the writing and the directing and on this spec. So sometimes you don't get them right. This book's selling for like $8 right now.
Shame. Cool cover.
I want to. So next up on the wheel of torture here is I want to do something we normally don't do on this podcast, and it's a unboxing. I got a box here from Jimmy. Do you want to talk about the Skybound live sale that they do on Facebook? That's what the box I got here is.
So high. Kids love to watch shit get unboxed.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Go open this box.
Remember?
What are you?
You remember?
Come on, hurry up, Mister. My microphone is garbage.
Yeah.
So yeah, Skybound does these does what monthly Facebook sales. So what did you buy from their monthly Facebook sale?
This one I got was,
that you were talking massively negatively about, by the way.
Yeah, their packaging. First of all, packaging is the best, probably some of the best I've ever got for a slab.
All right.
So I'll give them kudos on that.
All right.
Problem thing I don't like is they make you sign for it. So when you get it shipped to your domicile and you're at work, it's kind of hard to sign for it. So I had to get it redirected. So this one, I will say, I got a pretty good deal on. This 9.8 Walking Dead 191 Death of Rick. This was $50. Great. I think that was a great price on that.
How much did they sell for, though?
More than 50.
Okay. Is that all you
So
bought?
I was real happy when I saw that come up, especially because I have 192 and 193 in 9.8. I did not get on the 191 bandwagon. Look at this. They gave me also they include a couple of these freebies.
Yeah, they give you two. That's if you watch the live stream, they include two.
No, I didn't watch the live stream. I just bought from it. And then 20% off your next order at Skybound. So what I wanted to talk about, this is the throw people under the bus episode. So that I felt like that was a good deal. The others at the end of the sale that they did on Facebook, the last two books they sold was Walking Dead, The Alien, the free comic book day book. They had 9.8. It was $75.
Local comic shop.
Comic shop day. Thank you.
How much does it sell? Doesn't it sell for like $120 though? Isn't that GPA on that?
No. There was one sale of $75. Last sale was $40 or $45. If you recall, when this book came out, they said it was only going to be digital. Then they changed it to local comic shop day, cover price book. You think they may have held a few of these back to get graded. The thing I don't like about the way they do this is they say it's all about the fans. That's why they do this. They have some great deals on 9.8 books that are not speculator works, but they're good books if you want them in your collection. The next one, the last book that they showed on their live sale was the Walking Dead Last Wine variant. I talked to Jimmy about this when they put it up for sale. I believe they had eight of them. 8?
7, I think. I think it was 7.
7 or 8. They were $750 for a 9.8.
Yeah, but then but
Jimmy said, "Do you know what these things sell for though? 9.8.
Yeah.
This well worth it for $750. My gripe is you're gonna come on and say we're doing this for the fans.
But the thing was with these, right? They made a bunch of them, and they were destroyed by the person they made them for, or whatever. Nobody knows where they are. So these are their comp copies that they were selling.
They even said that in the live
Yeah, but that's what happened.
Streamcast.
You're acting like that's not what happened. They were selling them for $700 when they were selling graded
problem I
copies
have
for
is
$700. When you would
they
see raw
created-
copy sold for $800 right here, right? So
when you hear old timers talk about creating their own demand for a variant with store variants or with ratio variants, they're printing.
What's the term?
Yeah, you can't
Manufactured rarity.
Manufactured collectible. You can't make your own comic and then say, "Oh, we're going to put these out to a limited distribution. Oh, these are really hard to find. Oh my gosh, what do I have here? I got 7 of them. I'm looking out for the fans.
but isn't that exactly what like Stranger
I'm going to
Comics
sell these
does?
at a bottom market price of $750. I'm looking out for you guys." So they're only going to make a few thousand just on one comic. Looking out for the fans, though. That's awfully nice of them.
So who gets the cash? Is it who's the dude that runs it?
No, he's the CEO. I don't think
Robert
he gets the
Kirkman's
cash.
brother.
Oh,
I don't know how
His last name's Kirkham. It's not.
Kirkham,
Anyways, the
Robert
point
Kirkham.
is, whatever. I'm leaving you to that. What else do you?
I
have on
figured
your
you
list?
wouldn't like
That
that
was
one.
it. I don't do whatever you want. I mean,
Surprised you let
whatever.
me run on that long about it.
What do you mean? I'm not going to censor you. This isn't communist Russia. We don't live in China, okay? Where you can't talk about how many people are dead or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, by the way, that book was $50 shipped. They charged $0 shipping on it. So
Yeah, that's why I said that it
can I
was a
ask
great
a serious
sale, and you were
question about Walking
chirping me and telling me I was bad. And you're like, "What do you know,
Well-
Jimmy? This is just a ripoff." And I can't believe you ordered one. So good for you.
I bought one already. I had already bought it by the time that came on.
Can I ask it? Well, one quick comment. Nobody's gonna fucking care whether or not that was a manufactured collectible 5 years from now, 2 years from now, or whatever. Tragically, I must admit, I think Jimmy's probably right. If they really are as rare as they appear to be, if they really were destroyed, there's the deal.
Absolutely.
Now, but
And you got
that
a big following.
Whatever.
Is
Man.
the
Can
one
we, like, I wish you guys would get more into like actual conspiracy theories and not this kind of stuff. Because like I talk to you guys about conspiracy theories all the time, and then your reaction is pretty much like, "Shut up, Jimmy. What do you know? You're in Canada. You don't know
Wait a
anything about
second.
this."
Wait a second.
Fine.
Are we not on a podcast called Comic Book Wars? And we're
I'm just
talking
saying
about
that if you're going to
comic
get
book
into conspiracies, why aren't you into like all the other stuff that I'm into? It just makes me sad.
They have to be comic book
Oh
related.
my God, have mercy. Okay. Anyway,
I don't want to
here's my
talk about
question
it anymore. Okay, but
I'd like to have
okay.
one
What's your
serious
question? Sorry.
to the
I
panel.
like the guys at Skybound, so that's why it hurts me.
I know you do.
I know.
Nobody's trying to break their
No, I'm
balls
listening.
that
Where are you
hard.
going?
They're grown-ass men. They'll fucking get over it. Or they won't.
No, nobody cares. I'm just saying that's.
Anyway,
I'm biased, obviously, but go on.
Will the Walking Dead comics rebound anytime in the next 5 years, 10
Yes.
years? How low will they go before they
When the
pop back up?
movies come out. When the movies come out. There'll be a rebound. Now I think the most of the issues are dead at this point, other than number 1 through 3. I think will always be pretty sought after, and then Michonne will always have some a sought after value. The other, I don't know of any other ones. I really like Jesus. I think he was a great character.
Well, who doesn't? You gotta have.
Unfortunately, the show was kind of on the downcline when he became popular. But
Jimmy, what do you think?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a rebound. I think they'll probably start reboot the TV show after the movies. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that.
Do you think it would be a new?
With Rick?
I'm not sure, but I
Unfair.
wouldn't be surprised if we saw an all new rebooted Walking Dead comic book as well in the next 5 years. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen?
Sorry, Nico's falling asleep. Can we get to the?
Unlike
It's been a long day.
Ex Machina, the last like story arc of The Walking Dead wasn't all like here's what happens at the end. It was like it just showed you blurbs so you could leave it up to your interpretation. So
Yeah.
it could be revisited Whereas, like, I don't know, with some books they just completely end it, like, and they do the whole. But who knows?
Well, that was the whole kind of reason for the ending, right? It was on his. He wanted to end
His
it the way
terms,
he
yeah.
wanted to, as opposed to the sales going down and just kind of ending it. GPA watch. Let's go through this quick. GPA analysis. Crazy. Just some books that caught my eye that I don't normally look for. G.I. Joe 100, 9.8 sold for 240. All-time high was 266. So this is right about the all-time high. Only 18 on the census. Tough book in 98, 9.8. Tough book in 9.8. Next up, we got Transformers 13. Why? I have no clue. I guess people just want to put together 9.8 runs. We talked about this with this random Star Wars book a couple weeks ago. So one sold recently for 200, all-time high. 35 on the census, though. Not like that G.I. Joe book, but, still pretty low for pop culture book. And then this book has Shadow Man 13, first Punk Mambo. Kind of, it's been pretty hot for a good while. This came out in 2013. This is the 1 in 50 variant. 9.8 sold for 625 in this past week. All-time high is 715. For a 1 in 50 variant, these are just impossible to find. Like we were talking about earlier, Valiant didn't really overprint any of these variants. They didn't. Now, I do think they did do a dump, very small dump, though, where, they're going to release 2 to 5 of them on, through Diamond that a retailer may be able to pick up. But this was a pretty crazy sale, I think.
Are you reading this, Sleepy?
Yeah. What? You want to do? Nico was asking me today. I said I'm ready whenever Jimmy is. I threw some dates out.
Bring them out.
Threw some dates out.
Bring 'em out.
Last up, we got this. I feel like I stole this one from Nico. Motor City Comics #2 from 1970. It's crazy. I didn't realize until I looked this up. So this sold for $27.50. There's only been 2 sales of 9.8. The other one was for 4,000. Number on the census, 1. So whoever bought this for $4,000 sold it for $27.50, or somebody else bought it from them and resold it and lost money probably. Jimmy, did you buy this book?
No.
Crumb book?
I just bought a Mr. Natural #1, and it turned out to be a first print. So I think I'm gonna auction that off because it's in like terrible shape. It looks like somebody jerked off on it or something. It's not nice.
Well,
But,
is that an Crumb book too?
yes.
Well, might have happened then.
There's a lot of desperation in Crumb fans.
Old school Crumb fans are the new school J. Scott Campbell fans.
Oh shit!
Except
I didn't realize how long we've been going.
Crumb
tonight,
actually
but that's
provides a
fine.
background.
Whatever, man. I like J. Scott Campbell, and I like Crumb.
Yeah.
Except like Crumb moved to France because everybody called him a womanizer or something, right? So I don't know. It was a weird reaction. Okay, we're on the rumor mill. This is my favorite one. Wait a second. Didn't I put something before this? Did somebody change what I had before this?
You had
You're
nothing
doing great,
in it.
Jimmy.
It was blank.
Okay, so what's going on with Suicide Squad and James Gunn? Well, a lot's happening. We have some new rumors about the upcoming movie, right? We have some stills that just came out, right? That showed Harley Quinn in full costume, and she's not showing no skin. So, what else?
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, that happened earlier today. What else are we having?
Idris Elba. Unfortunately, my picture's cut off there at the bottom, but
yeah, you put them too low.
Oh.
I fixed a few of them, but I didn't see these. I'm sorry.
Oh. He's been pretty much confirmed to be Vigilante, Adrian Chase. So, Adrian Chase, first appearance on the left, New Teen Titans 23. Vigilante, New Teen Titans Annual #2. This has kind of been known for a while. He was rumored for a long time to be Bronze Tiger.
Which is his first appearance?
If you want him as a normie, Teen Titans 23, which is also the first black.
So what you're saying is, if I want him the first as Vigilant, It's
Vigilante Annual
Okay, yeah.
number 2. He's right on the cover there.
That's a good book to be picking out of dollar bins, and if you can still find them, I mean.
No, that book's been up for a while because it's been rumored for a little while. Looks like it's more confirmed now. But New Teen Titans 23, I forget what the heck the woman's name is. Who's
is it
in
Blackfire?
Yeah, Blackfire. It's also her first appearance. So that book has a little bit of heat because of a couple reasons, because she is in the new Titans TV show as well. And then the other one that came out this week that caused a little bit of a stir was, so this picture, this is still of John Cena on the left. And that's James Gunn he's talking to, I believe. And so that's his character. And they're saying that's in costume, I guess. I guess. So the speculation is that it has been that he would be Peacemaker, but they're saying he'll be the new version of Peacemaker, which is in Blue Beetle number 3. He's just like in regular street clothes, more or less. So, Nico, those Fighting 5 number 40s you've been holding? Oh, man.
Off they go.
I don't know. Yeah, so that's Key Collector put this out, Blue Beetle number 3. It's nothing confirmed or anything that this is the iteration.
Yeah, it seems like a stretch. It seems like a stretch.
It's
because he could just be not in his costume, right?
That's the way I'm looking at it. Why does that mean that he's shooting scenes and he's just not in his costume?
I don't see his tattoos.
Who wants a
I don't see him
stupid
eating
Blue Beetle
Doritos.
number 3 anyway?
I
mean, I'll sell those books, but I ain't gonna buy them.
What else? Yeah. So Falcon and Winter Soldier. Nico talked about this on his weekend update, right? Hoskins Family Flowers. There was pictures of a truck and pretty much confirmation that what was it?
Blast Star. Is his name Nico?
Battlestar.
I don't know. So his first full is what? Cap 341. This was your news.
Yeah, sell these books.
Ago.
Yeah, sell.
No, I picked up a Whitman variant of 230 yesterday.
Nice.
So 230, Nico, was the first appearance of what was the other organization or
the
person?
Place that gives them superpowers.
Okay, so anyways, these are the three books
I don't care about.
These are the 3 books: Captain America 230, 323, and 341. Not bad pickups.
It's like some agency.
The other news is what we talked about this already. No.
Well, no. This was also in the weekend update. This is basically just. I think if I'm a betting man, that the only person.
Sorry, this is Loki. So we're talking about Loki, the TV show, and this is the image. What's that organization that's on his shirt?
Time Variance Authority.
Correct. Okay. So there's one character that is anybody of significance in the Time Variant Authority. At least from my recollection of my youth of reading these comics, and that's Mobius. And he first appears in FF 352. That's kind of a cool arc. And I think that might be a neat way to kind of carry over and do the Fantastic Four. Kind of introduce them without screwing everything up.
I got you.
So
read the weekend update article because he goes into depth about it.
Yeah, I paid a little bit more attention. I'm sorry for not doing a better job now.
Other news that came out was that James Wan is apparently directing the Magic Order. We already knew Magic Order was being in production. That was announced last year, so it just seems that more progress is being made on it.
What covers do you guys like to that one?
Well, before we get into that, other thing I want to mention is I did see somebody who sells a lot of comic books on Amazon mention that a big-name director was buying copies of Nemesis 1 off of him. So that's something else to be thinking about. Is something else happening with Nemesis?
Really?
I don't know, but it does seem that copies are moving to certain directors. So I don't. What does that mean? Does that mean anything? Maybe it means nothing. But Nemesis is a great book. Hopefully this means that things are happening with that too. But that's something to think about. I'm not giving any names on that. You could just think I'm making that up if you want, but that's what I've been hearing and that's what I've seen on some stuff. So, but again,
now there's a variant for Nemesis 1, isn't there?
Well, it doesn't matter. There's a bunch of that. If any of that happens, we will talk about that too out at length. How do they make that? How do they make that at all? I mean, is Hillary Clinton going to be done in that? Who knows? But anyways, we'll talk about that whenever. Magic Order. There's what, 1 million covers.
Yeah. The one that people like. Jimmy, tell them.
Are these the ones that people like? I don't know. I know that these are the rarest ones.
Correct.
There's the Twitter
What is that?
variant.
I've never even seen that before.
Well, there's the Twitter variant that they gave away on Twitter that they only gave 50 away
What?
of. It was the creator exclusive cover.
Ask me how
And
many I
Never heard
have.
of these.
How many do you have?
Not a fucking
Yeah, they're
one.
Never
impossible.
even heard of them.
And then, but the first appearance, the very first appearance, is the VIP C2E2 one. And this you got into a lottery to get, very rare to get, and that's how you met Mark Miller and to get him to sign. And I think he only signed about. What's that?
You got any?
No, are you kidding me? I don't have either of these. I wish. These are very hard books to get. I think, like, I'm not even into Magic Order. I'm just telling you what
it's a great read.
for that book. Miller's great. I just think he's kind of. I don't like any of his stuff anymore. I don't know why. I just can't get into it. But that's just.
This is only 4 issues, though, right?
Yeah, something like that. It's a mini series.
The
But
book
yes,
I
the
don't like
the
is
C2E2 one is the exclusive Ashcan preview, and I believe they were all signed because they were given away at the signing. So that would be the hardest one to get, in my opinion.
No, those are. I didn't know those even existed. I would just go for the A cover. The Adam Hughes cover is garbage. I mean, it's a fine cover, but
there's the Swamp Thing variant that people love.
Yeah, that's a store variant, correct?
Right,
store
I think
variant.
it's store variant.
Because
With
it was a Netflix image book, and so obviously it's going to be made into something, right? So I think there were.
No, that
a
was
few
announced
stores.
before it was released. It was announced at the same time that it was.
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe.
That's why these ones went crazy.
Yeah.
Manufactured
I didn't look at the
rarity.
prices. I didn't look at the.
I've never seen one sold
Yeah, exactly.
Of what?
of those
Magic
two.
Order.
I
Not to
haven't.
say
I
that
didn't look
one
it up. These
hasn't,
are
never
from my
seen one.
article I wrote last year when
Yeah,
it was.
no, I remember.
published. So
Yeah.
I didn't look them up either. But yeah, what else is going on? Oh, I have one last thing. We didn't talk about this last week. What do you think about? I'm hearing Amber Heard. A lot of stuff going on with her recently. So, everybody knows that Johnny Depp was removed from Pirates of the Caribbean because of he got Me Too'd by Amber Heard. But then he just released 75 audio tapes and recordings where she like admits to beating him up, and there's all these like witness testimonies. So there's a big movement online trying to get her off of Aquaman. So I don't know what this means. I think it might be a good idea not to be holding on to Mera keys. But yeah.
Won't they replace her?
Holding on to Mera keys.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. I think right now is a good time not to have Mera books. But
Mera keys or key?
Mera,
Singular.
who's holding on to any of those books ever?
Listen, I'm just bringing it up because I
There's
forgot.
like
I
one
tried to
dude
last week. And we
hoarding
didn't,
them really likes ginger women. He's created the whole
So do you
market.
think she's going to stay on the movie? What do you guys think? Any comments on this?
I didn't even know
opinions?
this.
I knew it. I've not bothered.
Well,
to
yeah. So
listen to
Johnny
the tape.
Depp, he got kicked. He was replaced on Pirates of the Caribbean because of it. But then
By
there's
whom?
like they haven't announced it, but there's like all these pictures of him
It's not replaced then.
where he was like beat up by her, and there's like audio of her admitting to it. So it's really weird. But
Is it like a sex thing.
no, and no, it isn't. Like that's why it's so weird. Like there's security guard testimony where it's like I had to come and get in between them and move Johnny to other rooms. It's weird, man. But I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen with it. Maybe nothing happens with it. But I thought that was very interesting because that was happening. And Finn, yeah, that's all I had for this week. Was there anything else you guys wanted to talk about that we might have skipped over?
Probably. Do I recall it currently? No.
Well, I don't know if you guys know this, but I mean, I did
you want me
read
to open
Green
these,
Lantern Legacy.
Oh, God, make it stop.
Wait. Let me open these blind bags to see if I.
No, we're not. No, we're not doing that. Okay, we'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
sorry.
Hold on. I might have got a sweet variant.
I'm really sorry, and thank you all.
We'll see you next week.
What is it? What is it? It's a black and white.
It's a black and